Hello, my name is Justin Sedlock, and this is my final project for MEDU 762. Background about me: I just recently switched schools. I started my first 4 years at Glendale, and this is my first year at Northern Cambria. I taught 7th through ninth grade learning support math, and now at my new job, I teach 5th and 6th grade learning support math. Using high leverage practices, these are instructional methods that are evidence based and frequently used by educators to support student learning. These are considered high leverage because they are foundational to effective instruction, help manage and intervene in student behavior, and occur frequently in teaching. The evidence based practice theories use research to identify and implement effective teaching methods, strategies, and interventions. Some examples of evidence based practices in special education include explicit instruction, positive behavior intervention supports or PBIS, response intervention, or assistive technology. Practice based practice: this is a teaching and learning method that combines theory and real world experiences to help students achieve skills and competencies. Some key components include collaborating to tackle real world problems, problem solving, and social skills. Recommendations for using these practices include the following: assessing prior knowledge to recall and understanding, the use of differentiated instruction, the use of continuous feedback, open ended questions on assessments, and student self assessment. The general limitations of these practices: according to research, the cognitive load of understanding fractions can be overwhelming, especially with other mathematical concepts like ratios and proportions. Something that could be considered is a challenge: students have diverse learning styles. Some learn best through hands on activities, while others prefer verbal instruction. Some suggestions could be: having cognitive strategies for teaching fractions in middle school is important for gathering a deeper understanding of this mathematical concept, using manipulatives, visual models, and relating the material to real life situations. The summary of the article of improving fractions understanding in sixth graders with mathematical difficulties. After research cognitive instructional strategies for teaching fractions, the article discusses various methods that can enhance students' understanding of fractions. That includes the visual aids, manipulatives, and real world applications to make fractions relatable. Recommendations from the article of cognitive instructional strategies for teaching fractions. After research, there are many effective cognitive strategies for teaching fractions. Using visual aids is beneficial for visual learners, as well as resources like number lines, area models, and pie charts to help students have a deeper understanding of fractions. The general limitations from the article. Um, One challenge for students is that fractions can be abstract, making it difficult for students to grasp their meaning without being able to see it visually. I know teaching learning support students come to middle school with little to no understanding, which leads to a gap in their learning. Suggestions for future research would be having more visual aids and more interactive games in the classroom to keep students more engaged and have a better grasp of the lesson and fractions. And to summarize the article, Metacognition in Middle School, it mentions that teaching mathematical concepts through writing, listening, and speaking helps students reflect on their thought processes on solving problems. And recommendations for this for metacognition in middle grade mathematics teachers: metacognitive writing helps teachers and students reflect on their process to enhance their mathematical knowledge. Productive struggle is a key component of effective learning, especially in teaching middle school math. General limitations: some challenge would be with me being a special education teacher. Some of my students have a hard time writing sentences and are not very good at spelling. And not being able to read their writing could be a problem when they try to reflect on their learning. Suggestions would be: select problems that lend themselves to meditative thinking, considering the demand framework, to plan and implement opportunities for students to reflect on their own learning, and to create a classroom where mistakes and failures can be considered normal. and welcoming. And to summarize this article, it's homework time offers strategies and insights for parents and guardians who want to help children through the middle school years. Recommendation for supporting families during homework time is establishing consistent routines and which can help students not develop learned helplessness. And the limitations from this article, one of the challenges of using these strategies is that parents may have a lack of knowledge of the content area, or their work schedules are not consistent all the time, where they work overnight or when they're in school where they can't be home to help them with their homework. Suggestions: I would have open communication at home. If it's a problem where they can't have a consistent work time at home, I would work with the students individually in school so they can have time in school to work with me, and set realistic goals so they're not overwhelmed and the homework assignments are not too difficult. And the key takeaways is establishing clear guidelines, a consistency, setting realistic goals, and breaking larger tasks into smaller chunks, and explain the purpose of homework and why it is meaningful to their education. And also always working close with families and always having that communication from home and school so the student can get the best education possible. And this is my final, and I hope you enjoyed it.